Hey, it's Shabes, and welcome to another edition of AniTube Digest, where we go over the best and not so best anime YouTube videos to come out this week, from the 29th of November to the 6th of December. I'm a little sick. It's like, I can't, it's like, I'm barely sick. Like, I'm just a smidge that it's coming on. So, forgive me if that translates. Anyway, after this video, so I thought were decent. They're pretty good. No. You know, there was one thing like right before I recorded, somebody sent me something, and I was like, I'm not watching that. I'm like, I don't know if I'd have a positive time with that, or at least like, no. Anyway, this first video is from Rumic World. I don't think I've talked about their channel. I don't remember where I found this. I think I like found it on Twitter or something. But it was talking about why the Ranma anime was canceled, and they're talking about the time when there was an initial 18 episodes, and then it got like canned, and then a few months or weeks later, like not even that long of a time, it resumed. So that's to the 161 episodes or something that we have today. But it has that initial 18 episode batch, and then there's a Nettohen or whatever, which is interesting. I kind of knew about it, but I keep forgetting because I haven't seen Ranma yet. But this video is really straightforward and really it's really just straight facts, and it's talking about the ratings at the time, like the sort of the competitive nature of Japanese TV. Ranma was airing in the same time slot, like at the same time as Opachama-kun, which is this different manga adaptation, and then was also competing with this live action quiz show that was airing at the same time that had been going on for like a decade at that point. So I really like this sort of insight. It's very similar to like if I got like similar flashbacks to my Slam Dunk video, although this does seem to have a little more credibility of why that initial bump happened, and it was due to that competition, that its ratings weren't very good, so they pulled it and moved it to a different time slot, Fridays, I think. Like it's from where it was initially. And this seems to be confirmed from the author of Opachama-kun, and there's this whole thing of like he writes about having gotten a bunch of like fan complaints and angry fan letters and stuff like that, and there's a really cool moment when Rumic World shows the physical copy of one of the editions of the magazine, because I think they were published in the same magazine, interestingly, and or no, they weren't. Rumic is Shonen Sunday, I think, and then he said that Opachama-kun was Animal magazine, Young Animal, which is the same magazine as Berserk, is why I remember that. But they actually shared a cover together, like the two mangaka authors collaborated on this one thing, and it's like Ranma holding Opachama-kun, this little kid or whatever. I thought that was really interesting, and there's just a lot of great information and stuff, and it all feels very firsthand. It feels very like, here's the physical, like he actually shows the quote in the back of one of the magazines where he thanks Takahashi and things like that, and here's the book where this manga author is making these claims and stuff like that. It's still his speculation technically, but I think that's a good of a source as any. I think it's really interesting. It's also just kind of an interesting story of television, anime, and relating to each other, because you would never think, you'd never believe, like you see something like Opachama-kun and you wouldn't think it has competition with Ranma based on like it's like the Beatles and the Beach Boys having a rivalry at the time, where it's like no way now, like looking at it in hindsight, but there was such a case. It was interesting. Yeah, I really like this video. It was really good, and I'm looking forward to more videos. They seem to post fairly regularly. Yeah, it's cool. I had to lower the camera because I realized that I have the standing desk too high, and I was on my tippy toes with that last segment. This is the next video from MiracleMomo. Shinji gets in the robot, and he says, look, this is not a great title or thumbnail, but what the heck is happening with the audio waves? No, but this was actually a really good video, I thought. The one kind of downside to it is the audio is really not greatly mixed. Like his audio, like his actual mic and audio input is kind of like Hayden's, and then the mixing with the music is just a little too overbearing. But the choice of music itself is actually great. I actually really like the 8-bit covers for Zambot and various things like that. And I was enjoying my time, especially with like giving little segments about Zambot. I don't know if he's saying anything super revolutionary or new or anything, but I did like how this is a response to a different Ava video. That structure is really interesting. And I think he just talks about Ava in a grounded, realistic, kind of nice way. With it's very kind of memey and internet, I guess, internet editing. I don't know, this kind of like, I don't know what to call it. It's the same thing with Eden. I have to find like a word for it, but it seems to be a very popular form of editing. And I think he did a decent job with it, actually. I like the feel of this video. Again, I love the music choices. I had fun watching it. Again, I don't think he's saying anything too radically new or anything like that. But I think the merits of this video are really good. So definitely check it out, even if it like the title of the thumbnail might not interest you in the slightest. Because I feel like a lot of Ava videos are like, it's like, what does this one have? Like, what's this one? But I subscribed and I'm looking forward to more videos. This seems to be like, it used to be more like shitposty stuff or like small videos. And that's cool. But I would look forward to like kind of bigger episode. I guess he has idle thoughts on Zombieland Song and that stuff like that. So he does it occasionally. But I like videos like this. I think you should do more of them. Yeah, it's good. STEVEM's doing a 4C month. You've been noticing if he's uploaded daily so far, doing a video a month and doing pretty well with that. And the same thing with his Madhouse series, where it's a combination of production history, but also his like personal thoughts on the show and the thing that he's talking about. I watched Memories and I watched his Detroit Metal City one. I want to watch the rest of them, but I only had so much time with like other videos and stuff like that. But I really like this Memories video. Appreciate a lot of the insight with Koji Morimoto in particular. I think that opening part's really good, and then it kind of after Magnetic Rose, like Sting Bomb and Cannon Fodder feel more like the regular 4C month videos, which are just like nice, cool, and like good to hear his thoughts, and it's just more STEVEM content, which is really great. Yeah, I really admire and respect it. I don't know if it's not like the definitive Memories video or anything like that, the way that I think his best stuff is like, where it feels like no other video tops this subject matter the same way. But that's fine. It's like he's making multiple of these videos. I'm not expecting that. So I do like that. Is quantity over quality in that particular case. But like that's cool. I totally dig that. Yeah, I like this video a good deal, and definitely check out STEVEM's other videos. He's support him. He's doing working his ass off, putting out all these videos all month. I also checked out Masked Man's video on why manga can be hell. It's just a discussion video. I really like his insight, and I like that it's very like feels like Jerry Seinfeld's level of comedy, where it's like, you haven't noticed the pages rip, or you open the thing and the pages fall out, or the little like ever know what's the way you read what sitting position do you read in? I do like there's the blood rushes to your head and that sort of thing. He's not like trying to be funny like Seinfeld. It's not like a comedy routine or anything, but it did remind me that he's making this video out of the mundane, smaller observations, and I really like that personally. I think it's a nice grounded thing of being personal with his audience and things like that. It doesn't have a sense of self-importance or anything like that. Not like his other videos did or anything. I don't know. I just dug it. Yeah, I don't have too much else to say about it. I would say that I can notice that like the editing, I don't know who edited this, but it does feel very typical of I pay this editor to make this video. Like I turned on a mic, did the rant, and then passed the audio to the editor, and they just kind of threw things together kind of thing. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, and I can't knock it because I've done that myself with my own video, with one of my videos. But it kind of has that same slapdash kind of feel to it, but I think that's fine. I think people are just there for the conversation and there for Masked Man and things like that. But that's just something when I felt like that, where there's certain aesthetics that he's keeping with the video, where like, keeping the kind of the red, white, and black aesthetic for the most part. There isn't anything too like visually engaging in that way. It does its job is kind of what it is. And I think there's a lot, it's good that they had a lot of visuals for everything, but let's say, it felt like that personally. It's not a big deal though. I don't think that's what Mass Man is even going for in that way. He's like, yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, I get that. Anyway, just some of my thoughts on that. But I did like the discussion. I like how grounded it is. I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah. Oh, and we're already at the best videos of the week, by the way. I'm sorry. This is probably going to be a very short digest. I think it's just because I don't know. I'm just kind of out of it, I guess. Anyway. But anyway, this first one for best. I love Platina Jazz. I don't cover all their videos or anything, but I just wanted to highlight that they covered the ED for the Space Runaway Idion, and this is like live in Stockholm, and it's one of those things where they play the ED in jazz, like the three-piece band, but then they devolve into a jazz little jam session things. And they just kind of like, yeah. I'm really out of it. I'm sorry. I think I'm really loopy. I think I actually might be sick. Oops. Anyway, never mind. But yeah, so like this was great. It's just jazz and I love it. And I it's funny. This isn't because I'm sick. I genuinely have this observation. The guy playing the cello and the guy playing the drums look exactly the same. And maybe that's not good, but to say no, it's just funny. It's just an interesting observation I had, I guess. It's very nicely shot. I love the music, and I commented, so nice, I'll listen to it more than twice. Yeah. Oh man, I'm just really out of it. I think it's also just like, lol, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I just love this. I love this video. You can check it out, please. Yeah, ZettaiJapan. I tried moving to Japan. So his name's Duncan, and he puts him in the videos like, oh, I don't know if I have introduced myself, and then he puts himself on Facecam for the first time, and he's recording himself. It's a series of vlogs, but also like a sort of a retrospective of his past year or so. I really like the introduction of the context of like how Zach Davison talks about doing the JET program, and then he's like, oh, I'm actually going to be doing the JET program. And so I think that was really cool. And yeah, I'm excited for him to be there, and I think that's really cool. Sorry, again, I'm a little sick. I'm a little out of it, I guess. But I just really dig this video. What was I going to say about it? Hold on, let me think. Yeah, so Duncan is going through his whole journey from like applying to JET. He actually got it. Like he's unsure about getting in, and then he actually got in. But this is all during COVID and stuff, so he's like, there's a lot of pushbacks, and there's a really nice point of tension that he puts in the video. I think he handles it really well, where he's like, okay, if this gets delayed again, I'm not going. I'm dropping out of the program, right? And there's a nice sense of tension there, and then it's like, oh, I actually filmed this in Japan. I made it, and then he goes back. Let me tell you what the flying process was like, and then quarantining for 2 weeks. It's very similar to Garnt and CDOC VA talking about their experiences coming back from England to Japan, like from vacation. They talked about it on Trash Taste. But a very similar thing. I like the little anecdote about the earthquake and things like that. I hope he's doing having a good time there. I think he's still like kind of in the zone of like getting accustomed to the place and stuff. So I don't know. I don't think he went into much detail about his experience there, but I would love that. I think he has a good on-screen presence. I think for someone who doesn't do that's not usually what his content's like. His content's usually kind of standard essay stuff. I thought this was actually a decent job, and I would like to hear, even if it's small videos of like, hey, this happened to me or something like that. I mean, I don't know if he's not, doesn't want to pollute the channel with that sort of thing, but I think this actually really cute. As these things do, right? When you film yourself and you open yourself up to the internet for being personal and like, here's what's going on with me in real life, that can humanize the person a lot, and I think it benefits the channel ultimately, because you end up getting a better idea of who he is as a person. I also really like the editing on this video. I don't know if he commissioned or actually happened to find all of these images, but he had like an illustration for a lot of what he had gone through, and I thought it was really well handled. Yeah, I just really dug it. Yeah, Like, I thought the visual style was kept being really engaging, and all the stuff they did, it was a new video for him. So I mean, it was a new style, I think. But yeah, I really dug it, and it was a good job. I really liked it. The long anticipated Canipa Effect video, the Broken Industry, anime, The Broken Industry, and it's just a reaction video of talking about his old video, the anime The Global Medium. And I actually went and watched that video first, and then watched this new one, and see if I could tell how poorly aged it was. And I don't know if it was that poorly. I think it was. I personally obviously skewed more towards positively oriented videos, so like I'm not as critical of it, I guess, maybe. But there is some stuff where I'm like, oh, you don't know. Oh, and then the stuff that like Canipa does end up bringing up, like, or you could just DM them on Twitter and it says animator in the bio. And he's talking about how like they're throwing these animators into the deep end and they're not letting them shine and things like that. And a lot of bad stuff, but he is very glum and critical of his previous video, but he does counterbalance that with this very cute penguin avatar that's VTuber rigged, and it does have some visuals with that VTuber rig, but I was sort of expecting something with like more visuals besides that. It really is just his video, as well as, and then just cutting to the VTuber avatar, which has a whole background and everything, and then it's him talking with the VTuber avatar, and it's cute, and I love it, and I hope he uses it more. I was just like disappointed that like it doesn't have visuals attached as much. I mean, what do you put a visual to when it says like fucking, or you just DM a person on Twitter or something? Like, yeah, I get there's probably not a whole lot of visuals to bring into these sorts of things. I just think that there was some bits that when he was talking about it, that it was hard for me to visualize and follow as a viewer, I guess. And that's it's not the worst thing in the world. And I do think that this is still really great as a reflection and giving an excuse to kind of talk about these issues and all these, giving these updates and things. I think it's important to do. I hope he actually continues to do this, maybe in the future, maybe like reflecting on the broken industry and things, making like in a few years time. And it had to be 5 years from now. So it'll be a little while, but I think this is a really additive and interesting piece, and something I was really looking forward to, and delivered for the most part. I think it was really great. Yeah. I don't know if I have to, it seemed maybe a little more critical than it was, but I do like I just like how transparent he is about how glum and critical he is. Honestly, the penguin helped a lot. The penguin helped quite a lot. He was like, I've never been more critical or glum, and I'm like, I didn't feel that way. I didn't get those vibes. It doesn't feel very doom and gloom. You can tell when someone is like really pissed or or sad or any, and that's sort of that's sort of infectious and makes me feel sad. But I think Canipa actually does a really good job not emoting that. I think it's good that like his upbeat delivery, which is a trademark of his, is actually helping him in this case, because the way even his like Crunchyroll translators video is very similar, very critical and everything, but he's infusing it with the same level of energy and care. Like, he cares about this thing. It's not like he's mourning it or woe is me or something like that, being sad for it. He's just like, things aren't great right now. I think it does help, actually. So I didn't think it was but I appreciate how transparent he was. Like, this is probably the most glum I've ever been. I'm like, really? Anyway. The really good video, and of course I recommend everyone to watch it, please. Ayo, you may have been late, and looking into it, I'm like, I don't know if you quite followed the prompt correctly the same way. But Anime Misfit had a video on Promised Neverland that was supposed to be for Novid, the Pause and Select challenge, but it was a little late. And in watching the video, she does mention 3 videos, and they do have to do with what she's talking about, but they're not really about one of them, at least, is absolutely not about Promised Neverland. It's just sort of like mentioning it for a particular point that she makes. But while it doesn't necessarily fit into the prompt, I loved this video. I actually thought it was I feel like it was the best video I've seen from you. In general, I like your videos in general, but like this in particular was like you had a real motive and a real drive for that. Like you really not like you don't care for your other in your other videos or something, but this one felt you really wanted to get this right, and you're constantly talking about wanting to get it right and caring that much, and it felt more personal and more of a metatextual. I love the metatextual stuff for YouTube videos. And yeah, I mean, I don't feel like you do talk about the subject, and yet you don't as much, like, but it's mostly about your creative process. And like, oh, in this draft I did this and that was bad, and then this and that struggle with making a video and people's perception of you, and this sort of thing of being a YouTuber and stuff, is something I relate to a lot, and something I think a lot of YouTubers probably go through and feel. So I think it was great to articulate that in a video that, feels very authentic, and like, I don't know if authentic's a backhanded term or anything, but it really just felt like I like that you talked about this stuff, and didn't have, you overcame this sort of fear, while finding your own way and your own way of doing things. I really like how you talk about other people's other people's videos. You incorporate them really well, and you're like, thanks for these guys for influencing me and steering me in the right direction this way and that. I just really liked it. I really liked hearing a lot from you in a personal level, and your creative struggles and things like that. And as well as, throwing in a little bit of analysis of this character. And I was really liking where you're going, because it is a difference in perspective. It is sort of like, yeah, I am making this sort of like controversial statement, like I don't think Krone is that bad sort of thing, while still caring a lot and taking other people's thoughts into account and hearing other sides, and you're really worried of not saying the right thing, but then finding courage in this other person's video where they're not as worried about saying the right thing so much as saying the thing that they believe and they care about. I just think that it was really well done, and you take a lot of shots at yourself in this video, and I appreciate that too, because I think it's very next to impossible to acknowledge a person's fault, for a creator to acknowledge their faults in one of their own videos. Like, vulnerabilities and like discussing weaknesses is one thing, but like really taking shots at, like, the level of deprecation that you put in this video is really interesting, and compelling, especially when you really seem to care that much. And you just seemed especially animated in this one, and not so much like, here I am making a video, guys. Yeah, you're not putting anything on, right? And so it feels really like cutting in that way. So I especially liked this video. I just was like, this was particularly really great. I loved it. Really great job. Of course, the one I had the most fun with, and the one that I was just like most excited and like I didn't want to end almost, actually, despite being over an hour long, the new Hazel video. Once again, I feel like I talk about every single one of her videos, man. Almost every single one of her videos. There's some certain... That's all... These are the only videos she... What? Wait a minute. Oh, she got some either taken down, because there's no, where's her Grell video? Or, the Hibari-kun one. Interesting. I think she took it down some of her videos. Because I was like, this can't be it. This is like, what? But yeah, no, it really feels like I've been just like watching every single one of her videos, honestly. It's been a great time. And having a good time with all of them. But she's having particular struggles with this one, which I feel pretty bad about. But maybe it's because like, I think it's because like there was an old upload of this, and then it got age restricted, and then she put this new one up with some more censoring and shenanigans. But then this one also got age restricted, so that's too bad. So, if it's a different video in the digest playlist, that's why maybe she might. I saw a post today that she might be re-uploading it a third time. I don't know. No, but this is a fantastic video on Tenchi Muyo, particularly Tenchi Muyo Universe, the TV series, and the 3 movies that are kind of alongside it, although one of them's not canon to that continuity. And then she talks a little bit about the OVA and some of the other stuff, and how messy it is. I think towards the end, she was kind of weaning me off watching it, but for the vast bulk of the show, the vast bulk of the video, I was like, I need to watch this right now. Which, like, I had no intention of, really. I mean, I knew of Tenchi Muyo and how important it was, and how referenced it is, of course. Although I am surprised to hear how, like, even in specifically Universe and the continuity she's referring to and particularly loves, it's not even every girl that loves Tenchi. It's not even like a harem in that traditional sense. It's really just two girls that particularly like Tenchi, and then the other girls are just there. Although apparently, like, there's other continuities and other things that it's related to because it's this big franchise. It does seem that, like, all of them do like him romantically on some level and things like this. So it is like a harem in that conventional way. But it is a very all over the place franchise, and I liked how hyper focused she was, and of course how glowing her praise is. I think I've talked about it in previous videos, but whenever she's positive, she just does it in the best possible way. She just instantly sells you on it, and it feels. I was watching the video having pangs of like, oh, this is my favorite too. This is one of my favorites. I haven't even fucking seen the show. You know, it was that powerful, really. I think she does a great job here. I really like all the memes and the little, you know, her actual editing is just so engaging and interesting. I just like how much detail she's putting in and how transparent and kind of she's able to talk to her audience and not necessarily just talking into the ether. It feels that way, at least. I also really like the little chunk at the end, relatively little because, you know, it's a big video. The chunk at the end given just to her wife and how she became an anime fan, and her growing up on Tenchi and things like that, and the the amount of personal anecdotes that they put in this video, and like, as well as her wife and everything. Her wife in particular is very personal with like showing her diary entries and things like that. I just liked how transparent it was and how personal it was. Yeah, and I just think that the positive glow of the praise of the whole thing is incredible. I just loved it. I loved every second of this video. I was going to take it back and say not every second, because it is unfortunate to hear about the continuity and how it gets really messy, and how, like, it's kind of hard to be it sounds like it's hard to be a Tenchi fan, to be honest with you. Oh my god, my nose is just literally red. I'm just sick, I guess I'm just sick. Cool. No, but I just really enjoyed it. Sorry for all the disgusting nose snorts. No, but I really liked it. I can't stress that enough. Definitely go check it out. I'm definitely way more interested in Tenchi Muyo now than I was before. And that's really a huge testament considering how big of a franchise it is, I think. Yeah, really huge. Thanks a lot. That was excellent. Dang, less than 30-minute digest. I'm so sorry. It is what it is, I guess, sometimes. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. You guys are great. You have a great week. Yo, peace.